Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
If you were forced to give up an item, let's just say Ovi scores his, what's the record for goals? 871. I think it is, Wayne's. Say he scores 872 and against the opposition, and let's say Shesterkin, let's say it's in New York, and he fires the puck into the crowd, the goalie for the Rangers, and you catch it. And then the Capitals come over to you and tap on the glass. Can we get that puck? It's Ovi's. It's the record-breaking goal. A, you don't want to give it to him, but B, you know you should. What would be an appropriate...
But C, that's $1 million puck in your hand.
They say the football's $500,000.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
So the puck would be... This didn't break a record. The puck would be right there.
No, what would you want?
$500,000.
You scumbag!
That'd be the coolest thing to have the record-breaking puck. But you know what?
Oh, it's $894. Sorry. So if it's $895, you catch the puck for $895. Because what Tom said was, we'll get him a helmet, maybe a couple jerseys or something. I'm not quite like you.
Yeah.
Not a complete pimp like you. I would say, I want the helmet. I want the jerseys. I want season tickets. I want lunch with you at the Golden Corral tomorrow, Tom. And let me think about it a little longer, and then I'll get back to you.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Now,
we are airing in Boston, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C.
how about that?
Washington, Oregon, Idaho, California, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Vermont, Maine. I've been everywhere, man.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show on a Wednesday, hump day, broadcasting live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Event Center. I'm here. Darren Moose DuPont has moved now 30 feet from me on the other side of this stage at the Event Center. I'm so ready to have so much fun today, and I'm going to tell you how and why, Darren, in a moment program. Our guests, TSN anchor Jermain Franklin, a legend of Calgary sports, and also of TSN, and our NFL insider Jim Lang coming up in hour two. I want to jump right out of the gate on this. Speaking with my American friends, specifically in Florida, they're wondering what's popping in Canada with hockey. And I said, everybody's talking about the Oilers media situation, the back and forth with Leon Draisaitl and Jim Matheson yesterday. And I got to say, there's an error, I think, in our YouTube vote because, listen, I got in my quick six show topics coming up. I've got the NHL from Tuesday night. We've got our top five, bottom five in the NHL. Toronto Argonauts naming their coaching staff. We have some WHL notes I'd like to pass along. NFL Division Playoff Preview. Bet Regal's odds are out. We're going to play Deal or No Deal again. We've got a very special promo code and a way to get people betting this weekend on the NFL game. So we got a lot to get to. But I'm ensconced. I've got tingles with a Neon Leon, Jim Matheson, back and forth. And our poll question today, everybody's seen it, right? It's running on the news networks, not just TSN and SportsCenter. Jim Matheson, the reporter, the Hall of Fame reporter, as everybody will have you know. And that's not taking anything away from what Jim Matheson's done in his career, but I don't think that gives you an excuse to speak to Leon Draisaitl the way that you did. And that's not putting Leon off the hook either. Who do you support in Pissygate? Because Jim Matheson said to Leon Draisaitl, the Oilers star, why are you so pissy? And my options in the Capital Automall Universal Collision Center Twitter poll were, do you support Leon? Do you support Jim Matheson? Do you support both? Or do you support neither? And I voted neither because they're both acting like children. And anyways, that's not even my first thing, but I just I feel like we'll talk a lot about that today. How about you?
Yeah.
And how about that?
I'm probably on the neither side either, or as well. It's entertaining.
Sure.
And you wonder why this doesn't happen more often. Now, we know it does.
Clark has amended the poll, by the way, on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is he?
In both cases, everybody, the leader's Draisaitl. Everybody always sides with the players, right?
Well,
everybody hates the media.
We have no fans, right? The media doesn't have fans.
None.
But the players do. So I get that. This stuff does happen behind closed doors. It happens in the hallways. Tim Hunter and I had one, right? It was a little bit of the same thing. Not quite the same, but you see that happen all the time, but not in that setting. Professional, up at the podium, press conference in front of all your peers. Man, it is something.
I would tell them both to grow up, and I just think that everybody, Hall of Fame report. So what? Why would you use that term? Why are you so pissy? You might say that to your partner, your husband, your wife. We had this discussion.
Yes.
Why are you so pissy? But you're in a professional setting like that, an NHL superstar and a Hall of Fame. Why are you so pissy? Anyways, let's move on, okay?
Yeah.
Zach in Calgary is watching, says, good day, RP and Darren. It was great seeing you at the game last night. It was a great game. And that's the thing. The Flames fans are sitting there going, we just kicked the Panthers' ass last night. Can we talk about that? So let's hit the quick six show topics, please, Director Jordan, and thank you. In no particular order, Alex Ovechkin scored his league-leading 27th goal of the season. Tom Wilson scored in overtime, and the Washington Capitals beat the Winnipeg Jets 4-3 Tuesday night. Ovechkin beat Connor Hellebuyck, who made 27 saves. It was Ovi's 757th goal, also his 1,375th point, putting him ahead of my favorite NHL player ever, Mike Modano, for 24th all-time on the scoring list, and also the name of my cousin Christine's dog, Modano. They hit on Ehlers, 4-game suspension. That's what I think it could be. Moving on, here in Calgary, Sean Monahan scored twice for the first time this season, and the Calgary Flames beat the NHL-leading Florida Panthers 5-1. Sam Bennett scored for Florida, who ended a 4-game winning streak and a 9-game point streak. I said I was going to have fun today. I'm going to sprinkle this in. I'm not going to use any names because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But over there in that Calgary Stampede area, let's just say, the Stampede ground, and you were with me, so you know that I'm not pulling anybody's leg.
Right.
Some guy's like, hey, do you want some of this Alberta beef? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay. We ate before we came to the game. And he goes, it was in the area, okay, of the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And I said, Alberta beef, AAA? And he says, no, 4A. 4A, it's the best. I'm like, there's no such thing. And the guy is like, you're from Florida? And I'm like, as far as you know, yes. I immediately texted my brother. I said, have you ever heard of 4A beef? As our dad, being a cattle farmer that he was, my brother's like, best I ever heard of was AAA. I'm like, me too. He was trying to pull a fast one on us last night. I think we were born at night, not last night.
Right. It was brisket in the meal there, and he's like, you got to try it. You know, it's Alberta, right? It's the best. It's
right.
The beef and AAA, right? Well, here it's 4A. He's trying to tell you it's even.
There's no such thing as 4A beef.
He's trying to tell you that the Saddle Dome is this weird portal where they have even better beef that nobody's ever heard of before.
Well, I didn't say it was the Saddle Dome. I said the Calgary Stampede ground.
Right.
So anyways, and I said to the guy, what, did you massage the cow ahead of time? And the gal that was working, I thought that was funny.
You walked around the rink, and they like.
Well, you weren't at the rink.
But no, at the rink, when you were walking around later, like everywhere we've gone, people have thought you were not from here.
Well, we're not.
Right? And
not yet, anyway.
Right. Like you could have probably walked right into the Florida Panthers dressing room and nobody would have said anything.
Almost did.
Almost did.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the buffet here at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, which we'll be attending tonight, our director of scouting, Craig Smith, said to me, what's better, Golden Corral or the Grey Eagle? Both great. Here's my answer on that. More quality here, more quantity there.
Good answer.
Right? They're like 4 to 5 times as many selections at the Golden Corral, but it's not as good. And I'm not pulling anybody's leg on that or selling you anything. That's the truth. Moving on, and our one-timers from the NHL on Tuesday night. Oh, licorice legs. Jesperi Kotkaniemi scored twice during Carolina's 5-goal first period. Jacob Slavin added a goal and 2 assists after a 2-game absence, and the Hurricanes snapped Boston's 5-game winning streak. Victor Hedman had 2 goals and an assist. Nikita Kucherov extended his scoring tear since returning from injury in Tampa Bay, topped LA 6-4 for its 4th straight win. Christian Dvorak scored twice. Sam Montembeault made a career-high 48 saves for his 2nd win of the season, and Montreal beat Dallas 4-3. Oliver Wahlstrom scored in the 9th round of a shootout, and the Islanders sent Philadelphia to their 9th straight loss, 4-3. I got to think the GM is next in line to walk the plank in Philly. In Ottawa, Michael Hauser made 43 saves in his season debut, and Buffalo beat Ottawa 3-1. Hauser became the 6th goalie to start a game for the Sabres. My favorite is Aaron Dell, the goalie who raced out of the net and made a body check the other night.
Yeah.
Aaron Dell just sounds like an NLL goalie.
He does. Yeah.
He's playing like an NLL goalie.
100%.
And lastly, Thatcher Demko made 31 saves to lead Vancouver over skidding Nashville 3-1. We'll get to your comments in a moment. Taco Time viewer takeover. We hit up Taco Time yesterday at Chinook Center Mall. It was amazing. Found out there's like 17 Taco Times just in this city. Who knew Calgary was the mecca of Taco Time? I had no idea. Did you?
Not that there was that many. I was saying to you, like when we pulled it up on the map, I'm like, I could pull up my 6-iron and hit all 17 Taco Times. They're all right there.
Exactly. And you're going to want to go watch our Instagram story at the Rod Pedersen Show. Darren's done a very cute little video. It's actually quite funny because I asked the gal, could I have 5 hot sauce cups? And she's like, and I'm like, count them up. I feel like Vic Rauter. And 1, 2, 3. He went and found it. A clip of Vic Rauter. So he's calling play-by-play of her putting my Taco Time hot sauce on my tray. Moving on to the NHL top 5, bottom 5. Are you ready, Darren?
Yes.
I put all of 5 minutes into this, but I think this is the best list of top 5, bottom 5 teams in the National Hockey League here in late January. Here's our number 1 team in the National Hockey League. It's the Carolina Hurricanes. We got to stop ignoring them. They're the best team in the National Hockey League. 54 points to lead the league, a plus 45 goal differential. It's time we start talking about Carolina. Hashtag take warning. Number 2, Florida, still up there. They got punched in the mouth last night here in Calgary, but they've only played 39 games. They have a .731 winning percentage. We're about to find out who the real Panthers are on the road. Number 3, the Colorado Avalanche. They've come out of nowhere, setting records for home wins. 156 goals for is second only to the Florida Panthers, and they're the leaders of the Central, 8-1-1 in their past 10. Colorado, the 3rd best team in the NHL. Number 4, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are who we thought they were. First in the Atlantic, and they're currently on a heater, the number 4 team. And number 5, are you ready? The Pittsburgh Penguins. That's right. They've muscled their way into the top 5. Don't look now, 8-2 in their past 10. They've only played 38 games. The Penguins on a run. The bottom 5 teams in the National Hockey League. This is where it gets real good. The 28th team in the NHL is the Buffalo Sabres. Despite the win in Ottawa last night, they are who we thought they were. 29th team in the NHL is the Edmonton Oilers. Sorry. 30th team, the Arizona Coyotes. They're getting better. Incrementally with wins over iconic franchises Toronto and Montreal in the last week. 31st team, the Seattle Kraken. They are who we were afraid they were going to be. And they're coming off a 9-game losing streak. And 32nd team in the NHL is the Montreal Canadiens. And nobody can argue it. It's 11-11 in the Promised Land, Moose. Be aware of your thoughts. Okay, moving on. I wanted to, there's a few things. Let's do some dub stuff here. 3 games last night. Sean Shigurl was the lone scorer in the shootout as the Calgary Hitmen beat God's team, the Regina Pats, 4-3 in the Brand Center. Connor Bedard had an assist for the Pats, who incidentally, Moose and I were listening to the radio last night. I've been doing a lot of talking here. Tell them about that commercial we heard for the Calgary Hitmen on the radio.
Yeah.
We got a kick out of this.
The flagship radio station that does broadcast the Hitmen game. Watch the Calgary Hitmen. See stars like Connor Bedard in Regina and Connor Geekie in Winnipeg as they come to town to take on the Hitmen. They can't promote their own team. They're promoting the stars from the other markets.
They chose to.
They chose to.
Yeah.
And actually, I like that. That was smart because, you know what? It is the next generation. It's a reason why Flames fans would go to the games. But I did get a kick out of it.
We got a kick out of it. Buy Hitmen tickets and come watch Connor Bedard. In Edmonton, Luke Prokop and Jackson Weeb scored 27 seconds apart as the Oil Kings down the Prince Albert Raiders 4-1. In Prince George, Johnny Hooker had 2 power play goals. He's still in the league.
I know.
Including the eventual winner to lift the Cougars over Victoria 5-3. What else do I have? So that's a lot of hockey here in the warm-up. There'll be a big hockey theme here. Again, Jermain Franklin and Jim Lang coming up on the program today. I don't know.
Well, on the hockey,
Yeah.
I thought you would like this, and I don't know if you've seen it. I watched the Connor Bedard Pats highlights on TSN last night. They're now showing CHL highlights on the network. I watched Shane Wright and Kingston do their thing on the highlights. Now they're picking and choosing the stars, right, that are going to be up in the next couple of drafts. But we're starting to see junior hockey highlights on TSN.
I don't know how I missed that because I had SportsCenter on like 3 times, twice in my room and once in the gym.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
But anyways, the Pats lost. Just to hook you with the football, and that'll keep you past the break and coming back, where we'll spend more time on Pissygate up in Edmonton. The Toronto Argonauts football team announced their coaching hires for the 2022 season this morning, who will work under head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Mike Miller will coach quarterbacks. Chris Sweet will look after the offensive line. Pete Costanza is in as receivers coach and pass game coordinator, while Edwin Harrison rounds out the offense as running backs and quality control coach. The defensive side, under coordinator Corey Mace, will see William Fields control the secondary. Special teams will be coordinated by Mickey Donovan. Kevin Iben and Joshua Bell are back from 2021 under their same capacities. Not to name any names, but I spoke with one of these coaches this morning, and he's tremendously excited to get to Toronto and finish what they all started there under dinner. So the Argos did that. The Rough Riders signed American receiver Shaq Evans to a contract extension Tuesday, an original 4th-round pick of the New York Giants out of UCLA. Also spent time with the Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots, and Jacksonville Jaguars. Edmonton Elks signed quarterback Khalil Tate, who threw for over 6,000 yards during 4 seasons with the Arizona Wildcats. The Hamilton Tiger Cats re-signed American receiver returner Poppy White on Tuesday. If his name sounds familiar, it should. Poppy White had a 92-yard punt return touchdown in the East Final, Hamilton's 27-19 win over Toronto. I was watching that at an Outback Steakhouse in Lighthouse Point, Florida.
How about that?
Want to mention Canadians love Taco Time. Eat local and go loco. Taco Time uses fresh ingredients sourced in Canada. Our beef, chicken, cheddar cheese, sour cream, and Mexi fries all come from the Great White North. The leader in the clubhouse so far this week is Randy from Cochrane, Alberta, saying if they'd allowed Novak Djokovic to play in the Australian Open, it would have been a Djokovic. I know it's not a Hall of Fame comment, but so far it's the best.
It's pretty good.
It's the best that we've had.
No, it's pretty good.
So we're right on time. We'll take a timeout broadcasting from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Eagle Resort and Casino.
When we come back, we'll unleash the new promo code from our friends at Bet Regal to get you dropping some change on this weekend's divisional NFL playoff game. There's a lot of talk about that. They do love the NFL here in Calgary. I'm hearing a lot of talk about these games. So the CFL notes and more on Pissygate when we come back. You are watching the RP Show, daytime sports talk across all 10 provinces and 31 states on Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming. The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is the RP Show, a shot from the Saddle Dome from Tuesday night's Flames win over the Florida Panthers. Nice work, Jordan. I don't think I even told him that I put those videos in there.
You were saying that
Yeah.
shoot, I forgot to tell Jordan they're not going to get in the show.
Right. Welcome back to the program, everybody. I'm trying to find the photo of me and Vic Router, and I can't remember where I put it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm searching through all my photos. Count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. What an iconic voice. If you could believe, I actually think he's better at hockey than curling, and he's amazing at curling.
We were talking about this. We have these industry conversations all the time. And, there's an old saying, from a salesman, I can sell the S. I can sell the best and the brightest and the smartest and the funniest.
Or the fattest and the dumbest.
Or the dumbest and the slowest and the whatever. As long as you're an S, right? You got to have something distinct, character, right? And all the greats have it. You don't want to be vanilla in the middle, blend into the crowd. And Vic, from that count 'em up, right? Make the final. He did that for baseball, for hockey, for curling, for everything. It was awesome. He's so good and distinct.
I can't find it. I'll find it later. I wanted to say this, too, yesterday. I think it was on the show. I said, I wonder where the Florida Panthers got their winter gear, because they went sled dog racing in the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to their staff last night at the Saddle Dome, and they said, not all of them, but a lot of them rented the clothing. Did you know you could do that?
No, I didn't.
I had no idea that you could rent winter wear.
Like, I know
hotels in Banff. You
can rent ski boots and helmets and skis and that stuff. But I didn't know you could rent gloves and jackets and toques and stuff.
Exactly. So that's what a lot of them did. How about that?
Crazy. Nice.
And apparently there's 4A beef, but I don't necessarily believe that. John Ohm is up in Winnipeg. Poor Leon Draisaitl. Shut up, media, with your dumb questions. I feel for the player, he says. Again, I know that's what they're going to want to talk about here today. The poll question today for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. Who do you support in Pissygate? Edmonton reporter Jim Matheson saying to Oilers star Leon Draisaitl yesterday, why are you so pissy? In a news conference format. And it devolved from there. And so I'm voting for neither. But I will say this, it's probably going to go in my commentary tomorrow. But one thing that I do not miss at all, and frankly never want to go back to doing, is those post-game live interviews as a play-by-play guy. At some point, people are going to realize I don't want to go back to play-by-play. Because if you could just call the game, that would be the best.
Yeah.
It's not that. That's 5% of the job. Those live post-game interviews, particularly when your team loses, are the worst. This was an off day, by the way, Draisaitl and Jim Matheson. But Chris Jones is tough to interview at the best of times when they win. And again, Draisaitl's in a bad mood. The reporter, you have some thoughts on this. I was the one saying, I don't care how long you've been in the Hall of Fame or if you've even are in the Hall of Fame. Doesn't give you a right. I didn't like that comment. I don't particularly like Draisaitl. I've seen him be a jerk to the media for years. So I'm not on either side. Why are you so pissy? Terrible question by Jim Matheson. They're both in the wrong.
Well, they are. And, for Jim, and I don't know Jim, and I'm sure, we get along and everything would be great. Now, to me, it's like he's hit the end of the rope. He's trying to break through the wall and he can't. So then you go to this. I think over the years, reporters would continue to, and the good ones like Jim would continue to ask the hard question, right? They're not going to try and just give you softball questions because you're in a bad mood. They're going to ask the real questions that need to be asked. So he was doing that. And when he was getting bad answers, you'd usually say, okay, was a tough answer. You're not giving me anything. So I'd ask another hard question. But it sounds like Jim got frustrated and is like, okay, fine. Why are you so pissy? It's like being in an argument and just getting upset, getting mad instead of continuing to have a constructive conversation, right? And continuing to ask the questions until you get an answer that you want. It was frustrating. It was immature from both sides. And it's created great content for us, but it doesn't look very good for either of those guys.
The text line is open, 902-518-3033. Pick up the phone and text RP. Rod Pedersen. There's the number. And I'm just going to read this here. Brian from Balcarras has written in. And he says, hi, guys. I've been listening to the Monday and Tuesday episodes this morning, and the audio quality is not the best. Lots of spots where it seems to miss a second or two, if you know what I mean. I'm just wondering if it's an issue with my phone, Apple Podcast, or if you guys are having issues at Grey Eagle. I'm not complaining, just wondering. Now, there's how you would word a message like
very well done. Respectful.
Are you guys pissy?
Yeah. What the hell's going on over there?
Right. So I'm just passing this along to our tech team. That's what he's saying. And I said to him that he's the first to say anything, so we'll look into it. To the football. Let's talk about the special promo code from our friends at betregal.ca for this weekend's NFL playoff games. Over the last 24 hours, the betting lines have not shifted at all. They remain the same. And let me just dig it up here. 4 games this weekend, a little more manageable if you want to have a life outside of watching football. But a doubleheader on Saturday, Moose's Titans.
Thank you.
Home to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Titans are favored by 3.5. We went through this yesterday. You said you'd take that.
I will.
San Francisco at Green Bay Saturday night. We're considering throwing a watch party here in Calgary. Is that something you might be interested in? Come down to a location and watch the Packers and 49ers with us from the Rod Pedersen Show. We're fiddling with the notion of it.
Yep.
Packers favored by 6. You said no deal.
No deal.
You still think the Packers will win, but less than 6?
Yeah, I think 6 is too much of a point spread. I think the professional bettors would probably take San Francisco on that one.
Sunday, Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buck favored by 3. If you notice, I've deftly dodged putting my picks on this, but I will say I'm with you so far on those first two. I think the Bucks will. I think that's where the heart gets.
I know.
With Tom Brady. I think the Bucks will win. I think it'll be by more than 3. But dang, did the Rams look good Monday night.
They look really good.
In flattening, in motorboating the Arizona Cardinals.
That's the best I've seen them look all year. And it really starts to make you wonder if they're going to be playing at SoFi, in February.
And then Buffalo at Kansas City. That's the late game, the last game. And the Chiefs are favored by 2, and there are a lot of people that feel that the Bills are going to walk into Arrowhead and take the victory out of there. I'm not sure that I'm one of them. I think the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I think that they are still who we thought that they were. The thing with the Bills Mafia and their fan base, a lot of bravado. They're very loud.
Yes.
And they almost make you believe in what they're saying because they're so confident.
Right. I know.
How are you? I'll take the bet, Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm still there. I think a home team less than a field goal. I think you like that on the spread. And the Chiefs, they've been rolling. They really have. I mean, what I look at, and I've looked at this a lot, is third down. I think, if you are good on third down, I think that for me, that's one of the biggest stats I look at. I mean, we look at penalties and time of possession, all that stuff. But when it's hard to get Patrick Mahomes off the field, Josh Allen's not going to be on the field a whole lot. They chew clock. They run down. And if you can limit them to field goals, you have a chance. But they're so good on third down, I think that's going to really cripple the Bills.
So our friends at Bet Regal have come up with a special promo code in partnership with us, RP22. Tell our viewers about that.
Yeah, it's just in time for the year 2022. So you get $22 to play with when you use the promo code RP22 and you sign up at betregal.ca. So sign up, play with us during the divisional round of the playoffs in the NFL this weekend and use the promo code RP22 at betregal.ca.
So we've covered quite a bit of ground here, and I'm going to turn it over to the viewers a little bit in the time we have left. Then we're going to bring in TSN's Jermain Franklin, whom, well, I can't say I feel like I know him because I do know him, but it's like he's been in my room every day.
Right.
With SportsCenter.
Exactly.
Right? I watch it so much. So the people want to talk about Pissygate, and I knew that we were going to spend a lot of time on it. And it is a little bit of a disservice to the Flames because of how well they played last night in a 5-1 win over Florida. But we'll talk more Flames with Frankie when he comes on. The insiders felt it was the best Flames game of the year, and probably was. On the Pissygate, Landon MacArthur, watching on YouTube, says, Leon Draisaitl is a leader on the team, and as a leader, he needs to be the front man to face the media, especially when things are going bad. I agree. I mean, that thing started innocently enough. What's the one thing that the Oilers need to be better at, Leon? We need to be better at everything. There was nothing wrong with that. And in the back of his mind, he's probably thinking goaltending like the rest of us, but he's not going to throw the goalies under the bus. We'll leave that to the head coach. From Canuck God, watching on YouTube, says, granted, they have a few games in hand, but how are the Oilers behind the Canucks? Is that a rhetorical question? Because you know the answer to it. Yeah, they haven't played as many games, and they're the second worst team in the NHL since December 1st. That's how.
Right.
And Vancouver's been hot. The general in Calgary says, I'm on Leon's side. These reporters think they own the world. And that's the other side. Were you not saying last night that you automatically will take the media side? Did you not say that in the car? Or did I mishear you?
Yeah, I don't think I said that, but
maybe somebody else said it.
Maybe.
I can't remember. But I'm not on either. I've never been on either side.
Yeah.
I've never really been welcomed so much by the media. I've never really totally been welcomed by the players and coach. I've always been somewhere in the middle. So in this situation, I'm in the middle, and I think they're both wrong.
It's different when you're in that situation from ours, right? When you're more in the commentary like we are, or you do play-by-play, you have a more intimate relationship with the players and the teams than your average reporter does, right? Or your columnist. All that, the connection for the most part that these columnists and reporters have with the players is with a buffer, right, of a microphone and a buffer of, a press conference. You don't often get quite as much one-on-one time or time to just talk, right? You're never spending as much time just in a coach's office. It's always coordinated scrums and press conferences. And so you have to ask all these tough questions, and you don't really get to know each other on a personal level. And for Leon, you know what I kind of wish he would have said? When Jim says, why are you pissy? Why are you being so pissy? I said, 'cause we're losing.
Yeah.
Like, just to be upset, like to see some raw emotion, to be, you know what? We're all mad because we're not as good as we want to be. I think, that would go a long way with the fan base to see the players upset like that. I really do.
Well, everybody has a job to do. And I think in both cases, the media doesn't really respect necessarily where the players and coaches are coming from. And I know for a fact the players and coaches don't always respect where the media is coming from. And we continue to chase our tail on this, and there will never be a conclusion.
For sure.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says post-game hockey interviews are just a series of common cliches and offer little insight. I've got more thoughts on that. And he's right. I always say, what's the point? Why are we doing these between the benches interviews? The coaches don't say. Why are we doing it? But the one thing Eric Tillman said, who remains a very good friend of mine, he said, let's just imagine, and this was years ago he said it, if I get it slightly wrong, I apologize. But he was like, just imagine that you go to leave the house and you spill coffee on your shirt and you get a flat tire on the way to work. You get it fixed. Then you get a speeding ticket. Everything's going wrong. Right, and you race into work, and all of a sudden there's 20 reporters with cameras shoved in your face, and they're all saying, what went wrong? What could you have done better? Why are you pissy? Right?
Yeah.
And he's like, just imagine if it was you. But nobody will ever do that. But Eric Tillman always had a really good way of putting things in normal terms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Moose, I'll see you back here for hour 2.
Sounds good.
A sports update. The NHL will stop testing asymptomatic players, coaches, and staff who are fully vaccinated following the All-Star break. The only exception is when the tests are needed for crossing the Canada-U.S. border. The Toronto Raptors continue a 5-game NBA road trip tonight in Dallas. The Raps are 1-2 on the swing away from Scotiabank Arena so far, with a win against Milwaukee, bookended by losses to Detroit and Miami. Toronto wraps up the roadie Friday at Washington. The sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Jermain Franklin coming up. You're watching the RP Show live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop staffed by PGA of Canada professionals is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Everybody was bundled up in the Saddledome Tuesday night, but they were so happy they went. The Calgary Flames playing their best game of the year. A 5-1 victory over the NHL's top team, or at least they were last night, the Florida Panthers. In our top five. Bottom five, we have anointed the Carolina Hurricanes as the number one team in the NHL. We're broadcasting live from Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Join us this February 11th. Country music royalty Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan, winners of the Grammy Award and highly celebrated by critics, will be here celebrating their melodic voices and incredible shows. Ladies and gentlemen, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan bring their Grits and Glamour tour to the Grey Eagle Event Center right here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Friday, February 11th. Tickets still available at Ticketmaster.ca. Well, there will always be Calgary in this guy. Jermain Franklin joins us from TSN Sports. Hey, Frank, you're smiling already, man. Thanks for getting up and joining us because you put in those late nights. How are things out in the big smoke today?
You know what? Things are looking good in the big smoke. We got a big dump of snow just a couple of days ago and digging ourselves out of it. But yeah, things are great. Really happy to be on the desk, enjoying myself. And yeah, you're right, Rod. Calgary will always be a part of me, that's for sure. And the Flames certainly performed quite well. And I love that jingle by Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, just getting it going. That's why I was smiling so much.
This is such an awesome spot, and you know it well. You know, but I got to ask you this. I think the Flames seem to be your number one team. And I saw Craig Button saying last night that you, Jermain, know Daryl Sutter better than anybody. And the Flames are getting on this heater and this run, and we'll talk about that. But, man, are they loving the struggles of the Oilers here and the Neon Leon Jim Matheson. But they're just loving it in Calgary. Can you imagine?
Oh, I can imagine what it's like right now, but being in Calgary for so long, I know they loved any kind of turmoil happening up north. And it happened a few times in my years there. I'll never forget the local sports radio station made a jingle or a project after the Oilers gave up 10 at home. This is at least a decade ago, and all of Calgary loved it. It was so popular. It got so big that the Oilers actually had to say something to the fan about it, and it was kind of funny. But yeah, Calgary always enjoys when the Oil have a bit of an oil slick, we'll say.
Well, there's very good chance this is the best rivalry in all of sports. But I would like to talk about the Flames, and I enjoyed you and Craig Button's back and forth. Craig's going to join us down here at Grey Eagle next week. With him saying that you know Daryl Sutter as well as anybody, I'd like to ask you, Jermain, what is his secret? Because it's a lot of the same players it's been for years, but they're playing differently. What is it about Daryl?
What I think, first of all, Daryl Sutter, he's pretty open in terms of, well, I shouldn't say he's pretty open, but after all these years, you have to believe what he says is the truth. And the one thing that he always says, Rod, is hard work. You always ask, how are you guys doing it? How do you do it? Hard work. And it's not just hard work, I think. I think it's also teaching his players to work smart. The best coaches figure out a way to communicate with the players, tell them what their job is, give them a tangible goal, and the players know if they're reaching it or not. And these guys have pride, and they make sure that they get done what needs to get done. And I think Daryl Sutter is so good at that. Obviously, he put together that top line with Johnny Gaudreau and Tkachuk and Lindholm, and it's just amazing the way that these guys are working together. And the one thing was, before Daryl came back, it was can't separate Johnny and Monty. Can't separate Johnny and Monty. That's Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan. And that was because they produced so much, but that was because Sean Monahan produced so much with Gaudreau on the wing. Gaudreau was his feeder. Even though Monahan was the center, it was Gaudreau who was really the guy, the engine that pushed that line. But when it comes right down to it, Monahan is in a decent spot in the fourth line. And the truth is, he doesn't necessarily have the speed that you need to be a top line center. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the physicality. All of a sudden, you get Elias Lindholm in there. Lindholm has always been good, but now he has that dynamic force in Johnny Gaudreau, and Tkachuk is probably one of the smartest players in the league, and that line is just blown up. And I think the fact that Daryl Sutter can also make sure that each and every line has their job, does their job, especially in the defensive end, which, by the way, makes Markstrom look a lot better, and he is playing having an outstanding season. It's just a recipe for success, something that Daryl Sutter has had everywhere he's gone.
Absolutely. He just has something about bringing the best out in his guys. I've got two more questions for you, and one is about the Saddle Dome. I was very eager to get to Calgary and sort of get the goods on the Dome. And I don't know where you stand on it. People just very upset that the deal has gone away and fallen apart. The people feel that the rink has outlived its usefulness, and I understand it. They said that compression of the ceiling is worn out. When it snows, it might be a hazard. And then there are others that say, literally last night told me, I've never seen anything fall from the roof. This rink's fine as far as I'm concerned. I think if you had a vote, most people would say we need a new arena. But how do you feel about this whole saga? Because I came away from last night's game going, yes, Calgary needs a new arena.
Oh, they need a new arena. Absolutely, Rod. And if somebody, I don't know who told you they never saw anything fall from the roof, but they weren't there every day in the winter. Because I think everybody who's gone to the Dome on a regular basis have seen those chunks of cement falling from the roof of the Saddle Dome. It's just outdated. It's time for a new arena. It's unfortunate that things have come away the way they have, and I'll be completely honest, I am not a big political guy, so I haven't paid too much attention to the new rink. Once they came to the deal and came to the agreement, I thought all bets were off and they were going to have a new arena. Now it seems like egos have come into play, and obviously the people that get held hostage are the fans themselves. But the one thing that you can guarantee is the fact that the Saddle Dome cannot sustain or last too much longer when it comes to NHL properties, when it comes to holding an NHL team like the Calgary Flames. It just doesn't live up to the standard that has been built over the last few decades. And it's time. It basically is time.
Raptors is where I'll finish this, because I know you're a huge Raptors follower, and if I dare say fan, I know that is a swear word for the media, but they're at Dallas tonight. Rough start, but they seem to be coming around. They're in a lot of close games. What's possible for the Raptors this year, do you think, Frankie?
I think they can make the playoffs. I think that's definitely a possibility. It's funny, we just talked about Daryl Sutter and the way that he has proven that he is an outstanding coach everywhere he went. Nick Nurse has been in the game a long time as well. Obviously, he's only coached the Raptors, but the truth is, in Nick Nurse you trust because of what he's been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. And then the fact that the Raptors are basically healthy now, and you're seeing a young Scotty Barnes play beyond his years. You're seeing a Pascal Siakam finally growing. And I shouldn't say finally, because we put a lot of pressure on him after he signed that deal. But it has not been an easy road for anybody in any sports league. And he didn't have a good year last year, plain and simple. But now that he's continuing to mature, he's turning into the player that many of us or many people thought that he could be. And you know what? I'm going to put a caveat on that, Rod, because I won't even say many people thought he could be. Everyone thought he should be because of the paycheck that he was now getting. But the NBA team's got to spend this money. Kawhi left. There wasn't a ton. Freddie Van Vliet got his money. Kyle Lowry left. Somebody has to get that cash. And Pascal Siakam deserved it on that premise alone. And now he's actually growing into that contract and becoming, if he continues to progress, worth every penny.
Oh, it's been fun to watch them come together as a team throughout this season, and I'm with you. And once you're in the playoffs, who knows where you go from there. Jermain, keep up the great work. We're watching every day. Great job, and thanks for this. I always enjoy it.
Thanks for having me, Rod, and can't wait to get one of those RP sweaters or T-shirts. I'll fill it out nice.
Oh, we'll send you one. Okay, we know where to find you. We'll send it. Thank you, Jermain. TSN SportsCenter's Jermain Franklin joining us from T-Dot. Taco time, viewer takeover. When we come back, on the way today, our NFL insider Jim Lang as well. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio with Rod Pedersen.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
That was an interesting night in the Saddle Dome. Look at what went down Tuesday night. Everybody masked up, restrictions in place. I don't know what the announced attendance was. I tried to look it up and couldn't find it. It is taco time, viewer takeover. Just me and you until the top of the hour. Then the Moose will rejoin us here in the Grey Eagle Event Center at the Resort and Casino. Taco time, signature hot sauce is made in-house daily. Just wanted to let you know that. 5 of those little Dixie cups I put back of hot sauce yesterday, and people are saying that was nothing. So yeah, bring it on here. Don Mitchell, our Navy friend, writes in, says the Saddle Dome and NHL standard. Nobody deserves anything. And if the people of Calgary decide that the CSE Calgary, Sports Entertainment is asking too much, then build it yourself, Flames owners. Well, that is a decidedly left-wing point of view, Donnie. What are we supposed to do here? I saw it for myself last night. The roof is worn out. People are starting to get worried. Oh, we're going to start a holy war on that here today? Because I entered the week going, the rink looks fine to me. What you want, what you need are two different things. And it swung from me being here the last 5 days now from, no, they don't want it. No, they don't just want it. They need it. So, and it's, probably Murray Edwards could, the owner of the Flames, could pay for the rink on his own. But it's Canada, right? Where the government helps out people. Thought they did. And look at where your beloved Rough Riders play. How much government funding was involved there? A lot. Canuck God, that is the person's name watching on YouTube. Canuck God, last minute of play in hour 1. Canuck God says, fan of the Jets growing up, added the Canucks and then Jets 2.0 when they came back to Winnipeg. He says, Canuck God says he can't wait to see the Blue Bombers win the Grey Cup in Regina and accomplish the three-peat in the stadium of their arch rival. We can talk about that when you come back in hour 2. That would be great. Is this Jay Corgi 37 watching on YouTube says, great to see the success of the show, Rod and team. Keep up the great work. I'm assuming that Jeremy Corrigan watching in Prince George. We've been very, very lucky, and we've had the support of a lot of really great people. That's all I can say about the success of this show. But we're very happy, I can tell you that. Coming up in hour 2, our NFL insider, Jim Lang. And the Moose will be back as well. Stick around. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Now,
we are airing in Boston, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C.
How about that?
Washington, Oregon, Idaho, California, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Vermont, Maine. I've been everywhere, man.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. And we're on the road again. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, the place to be, today and every day with the RP Show. Don't mind me. I was just mixing my Nespresso in the break because it's still morning out here. Howdy to all our friends in Eastern Canada and the Eastern time zone, because I know I got messages from our Florida viewers. They're enjoying it. They're enjoying the hockey talk. And we are coming to you live from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino event
Grey Eagle
Center.
Resort and Casino.
Let's bring in the Moose. You can hear him loud. There he is. Darren Moose DuPont. I will get to your comments in a moment, everybody. Everybody's awake. They're alive. They got pep in their step, as my mom would say. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, best flame ever was my former neighbor, Bob McMillan. Oh, as long as we're in Calgary and we're in the Calgary entertainment destination, Grey Eagle, we're going to be talking about a lot of Calgary things. But we did a tour of the Saddle Dome before the game, and I said to Darren, when we talk about best flames ever, it's a shame. It's a shame. There's like, from what I could see, unless I've completely missed it, zero reference to or memories of Theron Fleury in the facility.
Unless it's scratched on the wall in the bathroom stall, you know, on the door. Theo Fleury is my favorite. There's no mention of him anywhere in that building.
And I think, hey, we don't all leave organizations acrimoniously, but a lot of us do. People like Theo and I. And it's kind of a shame. And I looked up at the rafters, and you saw the retired numbers of Lanny McDonald, Mike Vernon. I think they were the only two.
Iginla.
Was okay?
I believe
Sorry,
so.
I
think so.
But I think statistically Theo had a better career, and I darn sure know that he won a Stanley Cup here. But it's unfortunate, but that's between the Flames and Theo. I don't know. Again, we all have our things. You just hope that people can get past certain stuff. I'm enjoying very much just being here, watching the Edmonton thing. I'm not chortling about what went down yesterday at the Oilers practice like a lot of the people here and anybody that doesn't like the Edmonton Oilers, because I like the Edmonton Oilers. I like the Calgary Flames. Trying to prove that it's possible to like both. But our poll question today is regarding the number one topic in this country today, if I may, certainly in hockey. For Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center, who do you support in Pissygate? And you must have heard the Hall of Fame reporter Jim Matheson saying to Leon Draisaitl, "Why are you so pissy?" That was a segment. That was a comment out of a 2-minute back and forth. And my vote is for neither. Those are the options. Do you support Draisaitl? Do you support the reporter? Do you neither or both? I support neither. I think it was just kind of silly. But the majority are supporting Leon Draisaitl. I want to say one other thing here. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, "So, Rod, what's your assessment of the Saddledome after your tour?" I covered that last hour. You need a new rink. You obviously just joined us. You need a new rink. I get it. I came into the week saying you don't. I'm left there last night saying you do. So let's make it happen. But we covered that already. And for those that have been here for the whole 2 hours, I'm not going to cover it again. Janet, the Four Seasons, says, what about Kipper? What about Kipper? His number's not retired, I don't think. Was there not? I took a photo of it.
Yeah, I know. I pulled it up. I think it's just the three guys. I'm looking at it now.
Iggy, Vernon, Lanny McDonald.
But they're like, I'm looking up here at the banners, and it's McDonald, again, Vernon. I think those are retired numbers. But Al McInnes and Joe Nieuwendyk have banners up there too, and their photos are on it. It's not the same banner as Iginla's and McDonald's and Vernon's, but they've got Al McInnes and Joe Nieuwendyk raised to the rafters too.
But there's still nothing there for Theo.
No, there isn't.
At all.
Or Mika Kiprusoff.
So there's clearly something there. And what I'm looking at, I'm still trying to find the photo of me and Vic Rauter. I guess it's what? These young people. It's on our Instagram. Here it is. I found it. Count them up. 1, 2, 3. Vic Rauter. Sounds like the Count from Sesame Street. I'll send you this. We went to Taco Time yesterday, and the nice gal at Chinook Center was squirting the hot sauce into the Dixie cup, 5 of them, and he matched it to Vic Rauter, calling a curling game on TSN. It's hilarious.
Because you can see, there it is. Count them up. And I should have put this in the video, but I didn't. I added it to our Instagram story, and I said, Vic Rauter's side hustle, calling Taco Time orders. So that was fun to see him in the mall. Not real.
So I do want to get around to football, but I knew, because I can smell a controversy like a fart in a car, I knew this is what people are going to want to talk about. So Ryan H., watching on YouTube, says, hey, Rod, how does an incident like Pissygate impact the locker room? Will that fire up the Oilers? Hold on to that. Remember that. Okay. From John in Edmonton, says, Rod can hold a fundraiser to help Calgary get a new arena. I might do that. Is he being sarcastic?
Interesting.
Why not? Help out. I'm all about helping. You should try it. Dan O'Connor watching. Oh, no, it's Dan S. I got it. He goes, Connor is the captain. He needs to field these questions and do a lot better when interviewed. He doesn't rep the team very well when he speaks. Locker room presence, maybe that's why they got Duncan Keith, too. I'm going to put that aside for a second. Other than Stacey Champagne, watching from Access Television World Headquarters, says, does Jim Matheson get comment of the week? Sounds like he could use some taco time. LOL. Listen, how does it impact the locker room? They don't care. Oh, so you got into it with the reporter, huh? If they're getting along, which it sounds to me like maybe not all the Oilers are even getting along.
Right.
I don't think this train is coming out of the ditch, and nobody has told me where or why or how the Oilers season went right off the track. Nobody's been able to pinpoint the spot. And you know why that is, Darren? It's still going off the track. Not done yet. You're like literally in the middle of it. Even though they've had a pause because of COVID and haven't played as many games as they should have, that's the kind of thing that you don't necessarily even notice until the end of the year. And you look back and go, that was the time. That was the game. I've said it many times on this show. You can pinpoint where a team came together. You can pinpoint where a team came apart. But I haven't necessarily watched the Oilers closely enough to say that right there. Unless it was a really slow accumulation of events. You know what I mean? And that's possible too.
No, you're right. I don't know. Like, I'm okay, so it's good. I was in a really bad car accident a number of years ago. Really bad. And I slid off the road.
Is that what affecting your back right now, you think?
Maybe. I know I've had lingering shoulder injuries, but I slid off the road into the ditch, and it was full of snow. And you thought, okay, I'm upright. I'm in the snowbank. That's it. And then all of a sudden, wango, I hit an approach. Like an approach. Car launched, rolled, right? The point is, you never know when this is over, right? You said the car's in the ditch. That's it. Let's get it back on the road. They might not be done yet. We don't know if the car is at a standstill yet and ready to be pulled out, or if there's still more destruction to come for the Oilers. But they got to find a way to just stop this thing, reset, get back onto the road, because we know they're a good team.
If it was that easy, they would have. But I wish that we had a camera on our conversation here after the show yesterday. I won't say with whom. And my mind just went to another spot. The Oilers are what the Oilers are. They're not playing tonight either. Let me go on record as saying I don't think they're going to come out of it. And to answer your question, they don't care in the dressing room about a spat between a player and a reporter. Trust me, they don't. If anything, they will, I think, support the player in that dressing room. But I don't know how popular he is or isn't. But on the Calgary Arena thing, because it's really got people talking here. And I was thinking about this in the break when I was shaking the dew off my lily. Don in Ottawa, I guess he's back in the sweatpants capital now, wrote in and said the Flames owners can pay on their own if they want a new rink. Well, why should they? It's Canada, where we have our hand out all the time and usually get it. You look at your beloved Rough Riders, $280 million stadium. The team put in like $50 million, I think. The provincial and civic governments put in $100 million and $80 million for 10 games a year. 10. And we were supposed to be having world-class events. We might have NFL preseason games. How'd that go? Oh, wait, the Riders blocked it. When's the last concert they had in there? I'll wait. And I know a lot of that has to do with COVID, but they played this year without restrictions for half a season, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, it's different when it's not your team. Is that what we're getting at? So, again, I came into this week going, I've gone to the Saddle Dome. It's been great. I've loved it for years. Then I start talking to people. I go to it. And I get it now. And it reminds me of the old Taylor Field where so many people would across. We get a point?
It's 11-11.
Oh, it's 11-11? Mountain. Rod's on a roll. Rod's on a rant. And thank you, Cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, for pointing it out that it's 11-11. They like my comment about the dew and the lily.
Yeah.
It's from a movie. What movie was that? Can anybody tell me what movie that was from?
And the reason I looked at my phone and saw it was 11-11 is I was trying to pull up the poll I think you put up on our Instagram story. 75% now saying yes, they need a new arena.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of my soliloquy here. Jennifer, watching from the Four Seasons, she says, it was the Eagles, I believe, the year the Pats hosted the Memorial Cup. It was either the Eagles or Guns N' Roses. I was at both. I can't remember which was which. It was one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
That might have even been the same year. But anyways, point being, you don't really know unless you're on the inside. And you can say that about anything. It doesn't deter us from sports talk to have our opinions on things that we don't necessarily know about. God knows, have you ever watched CNN? It's never stopped them. But anyways, people would come to Taylor and they would say, oh, what a great, we don't need a new stadium. This place is wonderful. It's iconic. I remember this one group of young boys or young men were driving from Victoria to Halifax in a van, a Scooby-Doo van. And they stopped at Taylor Field one day. My mom was working in the Riders store. I was talking to my mom. in the Riders store, and I was the voice of the Riders. These guys get out of this Scooby-Doo van, and they're like, we're driving from coast to coast, stopping at iconic places in Canada. Can we go out and see the field? I said, let's go. Bob's your uncle. We went out. I had the key to the padlock, believe it or not, back then. That's how it used to be, Moose. These guys ran up to the turf at Taylor Field, took their shoes off, and ran around in their bare feet or socks. That's the regard with which they held the turf at Taylor Field. But I still wanted, I'm like, if they're going to implode this place, I'll light the stick of dynamite, okay? Because as I've said many times, every time I went into the broadcast booth, there was a dead rat or dead pigeon on my desk. There was water leaking everywhere from the ceilings. It was a dump. But when you only go there 9 times a year or less, you don't see that. I saw it. The players saw it. We couldn't wait to get rid of that place. And same as the Saddle Dome here now. So for anybody to come in like I did from the outside and say, oh, they don't need it, it's not that bad. I didn't know what I was talking about. But at least the Calgary people were cool enough to pull me aside and go, here's the deal. Did you get the sense they weren't trying to sell me on anything, Darren? Right?
No.
The only thing they were trying to sell me on is that there's a 4A beef. I wasn't on that one. But as far as they need a new arena, they need a new arena.
Yeah, unfortunately they do, and you're starting to see things like the roof's not holding up and all of the things you look up here. I mean, there's so much hanging from a ceiling for events, right? You got a big score clock hanging from the building. You want to see if you can get a bigger one to kind of rival what they have in Edmonton. There's not enough support. Like you can't put enough weight connected to the ceiling. Bigger concerts are starting to pass by and go to Edmonton instead. So you do need a new arena. But, man, is it a cool, unique venue? And I'm sad that we don't have these unique venues anymore, or we're losing them.
I'm checking the viewer comments here. The leader in the clubhouse is still Randy from Cochrane, Alberta. And he said, he's corrected me. He said it was Novak Djokovic. That's what Novak. Isn't that?
Novak.
And just to go furthermore, although I know that fans and viewers really love the arena discussion. At least in Edmonton, you can say you have the nicest rink in the NHL. You can say that. Yeah. So there's that. Chris is watching in Keg City, Ontario. He says, Ivor Wynne Stadium was old and iconic, but it was so outdated and falling apart. City of Hamilton made a huge investment into Tim Hortons Field for multiple uses and economic spinoff. Yes, but it was the Commonwealth Games, right? They got mostly government funding for that stadium. Why shouldn't the Flames? The new Las Vegas Raiders was publicly funded. Believe me, I wasn't intimate level, but I have intimate knowledge of it because the Golden Knights were like, wait a minute. We paid for our ring. They don't have to pay for theirs. Oh, it's because you're a hockey team.
This is the NFL, right?
Right. It's America, okay? That's why. They in Winnipeg, they want to talk about their Jets. Let me come back because we got to take a break here. We'll talk about that. They want to talk about Zach Collaros being a free agent. And we'll talk a little more about these NFL divisional playoff games. We are going to have a watch party here in Canada. Back down. Come on down to Calgary. We got the smoke. And we're going to watch NFL games with you people from Calgary. We'll be back. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Lot of slime. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time. Big time. Big time. Big time.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital GMC for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or reserve a unit that's already on its way. Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital GMC in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is the RP Show. Seeing Red, live in Calgary, and we're going to be here a while. Hour 2 is brought to you by Original 16 Beer, brewed in Saskatchewan, made with premium Saskatchewan ingredients. Original 16 is unfiltered for peak flavor. We've got breaking news from the Canadian Elite Basketball League. The Saskatchewan Rattlers have signed Dean Demopoulos as their new head coach for the upcoming 2022 season. Demopoulos becomes the first CEBL head coach who has experience in the NBA. His career started at Temple University as an assistant coach for 17 years, served as an NBA assistant coach for 12 seasons with the Seattle Supersonics, Portland Trailblazers, and LA Clippers. He became the only NBL head coach to debut with an undefeated and first-place record. Welcome to the CEBL and the Saskatchewan Rattlers, Dean Demopoulos. What would we call it? Where does snake hang out? Welcome to the pit.
The pit.
Welcome to the pit, Dean. Yeah. And thank you to the Saskatchewan Rattlers for alerting us. You said you saw the release earlier. I just saw it. They DM'd the show account.
That's exciting, to get a coach with NBA experience like that, to want to come and take on a team like this in the summertime and try and get them back on top. We know they won the first ever CEBL championship, and tough year last year for the Rattlers, so Dean's got a challenge in front of him, but that's exciting.
We did not see the bottom falling out the way that it did. Moose brought me a bunch of things. He brought me the breaking news bell. He brought me my gong. Thank you. John Ohm is up in Winnipeg. Ohm. I just haven't read his comments yet. And he also brought me the gift package from Tough Tribe. If you're noticing how much my lid shines, It's because I've updated. I've got even more Tough Tribe for Men. It was designed to meet the unique demands of clean, professional grooming. The warm scent of a gentleman's shampoo teams up with an invigorating, cool peppermint conditioner. Top that off with a little beard and hair pomade to start your day feeling fresh and confident. Available today at toughtribeformen.com. That's the number 4, toughtribeformen.com and Amazon Canada. Order yours today. You will not be disappointed. I want to say one more thing before we talk about football. I see Pinks, one of our P1s, says, let's go to Calgary to watch NFL. I think it's going to happen. Well, what's today? Wednesday? We got Thursday and Friday to promote the locale of where we're going to have our watch party for NFL divisional playoffs, but it will be Sunday, just so you know. I said to Darren, this might be, no, I think it is, the best sports city in Western Canada, potentially all of Canada, because they got NHL, CFL, NLL, WHL, CPL, Canadian Premier League, the Cavalry. All they're missing is CEBL, which they have a team coming, I think.
Well, if they don't, they will before long.
Yeah, Montreal's got the latest expansion team.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of sitting back going, whoa. We talk about the sweatpants capital, the rectangle, the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We've got our sport, but not to the degree that this city has. And Toronto will still obviously be regarded as the greatest sports city in the country because it's got NBA, MLB. It's got everything except NFL, which it probably never will. And that's a wonderful segue into this weekend's topic, or this topic here, what's left of this segment, and that is the National Football League in Calgary and its popularity. Front cover of the Calgary Sun. The front cover of the Calgary Sun was Rob Gronkowski spiking the ball. You saw it.
Yes.
Does anybody else see that? I don't think there's been a day that the Regina Leader Post or Saskatoon Star Phoenix has had an NFL photo on the cover. I'm not joking. It's a concern. And I think it was StubHub sent out a release a couple of years ago that said the number one region for ticket sales for the NFL for StubHub was Alberta. And I just got to, if you're the Calgary Stampeders and you're Huff, because Huff seems like a guy that still reads the paper to me. Doesn't he to you?
Yeah, he does.
Comes into the office, picks up the paper, grabs his coffee, and he sees Gronk on the cover of the Calgary Sun. Now, Huff has worked in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the 03 Patriots, as we have discerned. Maybe Huff's not the best example. Stan Schwartz, the Hall of Fame Stampeders executive. Another guy that would probably, looks like a guy that would read the paper.
Yeah.
Pick up the paper. Wow, great googly woogly. That's what I would think his reaction would.
Yeah.
If you're the Stampeders in the CFL, how do you stop that landslide? I'm talking Calgary specifically, because I don't know where Edmonton and the NFL rates. I just know that the NFL, for whatever reason, seems to have made some major inroads into this town.
Yeah, and it's happening everywhere because, I feel like a broken record, but the borders don't exist. We're such a North American climate now. Canada and the U.S. have almost blended together to be one. And, it's about what's interesting to people. What's going to draw people to pick up that newspaper, what's going to draw people to read it. And if we're interested, if we're getting NFL on our televisions and on our phones and on our radios and everywhere we consume content, it should be in the newspaper too, right? If we're going to get people to pick it up. Now, from a Calgary Stampeder point of view, it's a little concerning, absolutely. But it just means that you have to do newsworthy things to get people talking about you, get people to the games, right? And to get people, if you're going to the games and people are talking about you, then it's naturally going to be in the news media. So it's a tough task, but it's all about creating buzz.
Jeff Cabela's watching in Winnipeg says, great googly moogly, LOL. You know where that came from. It was just the other day they had maybe it was American Sportscentre I was watching, the top 10 gaff.
Okay.
And one was the guy painting teeth in the end zone in Kansas City. He spelled Jeff.
Yeah.
Remember? And one of the players runs by and puts his arm around him. He goes, looks great. Who are the chef? And the guy, it's that old guy. He's like, oh, googly moogly. That's what made me think of it. From the Winnipeggers. And by the way, kudos to the Jets for earning a point last night in Washington against a very good team that are on the cusp of our top 5. The Jets battled back, got a point on the road. I still think that they could be fine. But I see, Winnipeg is a little bit of its own distinct society. Right? Oleg's watching. He says, Winnipeg is perfect for him. Don't need to compete with any other city. All cities are good. Yeah, but you would kind of like to have a rivalry, wouldn't you? Like this Calgary-Edmonton thing is fun. I mean, we have spent significant time in both cities, not just in the last few months, but over the year. The hate. Oh, I respect the hell out of it. And I just wonder, Winnipeg doesn't have that. The Jets have never really had a historic rivalry. Theirs was with the Oilers, and it's not a rivalry if the other team doesn't consider you in one with them. From an Edmonton perspective, they don't think of Jets.
No.
And the only reason they had a rivalry and they hated them was because they couldn't beat them. And now, Canuck God is watching on YouTube. He says, if Saskatoon can actually have an NLL team, I can't see why Winnipeg couldn't. The only reason they wouldn't is maybe their arena's too busy. You already got the Jets and the Moose in there, and God knows what else.
Yeah.
Second busiest venue in North America. Not number one. L.A., formerly Staples Center, is the most busiest venue in America, but North America. Apparently Winnipeg's number 2. But one thing at a time. I mean, I've talked to those NLL expansion committee, and what have they said, Darren? They've said, there are no Canadian markets on the dock.
No.
They're like, we're like Vegas, San Diego, Philadelphia. That's where they're looking.
Yeah, they're looking to grow in bigger markets. Winnipeg's an interesting one because, what is there, 1 million people? No, there's less than 1 million people in Winnipeg, right?
Like 800,000?
800,000.
I believe.
Yeah. It's tough. You've already got the Blue Bombers. You've already got the Winnipeg Jets. You've got the Manitoba Moose. You've got the Winnipeg Ice. There's a lot of demand there, and there's a lot of competition for your attention. Even though the Bombers don't overlap in terms of the season, it's still a lot of attention and a lot of competition. So it's an interesting one, and it's a tough one.
I am just glad for so many reasons that I don't work in sports full time anymore, one of which is selling tickets. And I'll just use the Calgary Stampeders for an example. You could throw the Hitmen in there, and quite frankly, probably the Flames too. When you get out here and realize how much there is to do, my mind went blank when we went to air for hour 2 here, brought to you by Great Western Original 16. But I'm back on track now, Moose. What did we say the other day? Where we come from, and a third of this province, Alberta, does too, and that is Saskatchewan. The Rush would bristle at this, but all we really have is that football team. The Rush are only in their 6th season. The Rough Riders are in their 112th season. But it's all we really have. We're not going to the mountains, okay? We're not. There's a lot of competition for your dollar. And that's the thing with down in South Florida where I was for a period of months. There's so much to do. And they still fill the Dolphin Stadium and the hockey arenas. Tampa Bay is for sure. The more there is to do, the tougher your job would be for a sports team.
Yeah, they have the population down there to help support a lot of it. You have to consider that too. Just because they're a big city and, Winnipeg's a big city doesn't mean you can have all the same things. Saskatoon's a world-class city, but it just doesn't have a world-class population.
It's growing.
It doesn't have the numbers, right? It's 300,000. So it just can't support a professional team, in terms of numbers. You think about yourself. I mean, I want to buy season tickets. I can't buy season tickets to 2 or 3 or 4 organizations. I pick one if I'm going to buy season tickets, especially if I got a family. So it's hard to spread your money around and compete for tickets, even if the seasons don't overlap.
And that's why I say I'm a little fearful from a CFL standpoint that they are falling behind, because as far as the marketing machine of the NFL goes in a town like this, it's not going to be easy. And in Saskatoon, they say, and I've heard it, they say, well, we're going to be 500,000 people by the year 2035.
Right.
That's the one thing. And then the other person said, goes, yeah, but they're all going to be Chinese. They're all immigrants. And they're not going to the games right now. If you look around the demographic, they're not going to the games. Are you marketing to the new people? Then maybe you have a chance. But don't just magically say our population is going to almost double. So they're going to.
You're not cloning sports happening. So that's, yeah. That's hard for cities.
And I was, man, to see this happen. Cyborg comes to attention. Oh, floor.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
A new year means a new you. Pick up a new ride to match at Capital Ford for 2022. Custom order the perfect vehicle for you, or check out our in-stock F-150s on the lot right now. Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to roll. We need your used vehicle too. We pay big and you don't even have to buy from us. Plus, our service department is always here to help. Get special pricing on name brand tires, tire storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. Start the new year right at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Broadcasting live from Calgary. Saddledome last night was a place to be, where the Flames beat the Florida Panthers 5-1. Apologizing for the tech issues, but we're good to roll now, I believe. We are live at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, Calgary's entertainment destination. Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan coming February 11th. We'll tell you more
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Argo's announcing their head coaching staff, or their coaching staff for 2022 this morning. We'll get to that coming up a little later on, because we're going to talk NFL now. as we bring in our NFL insider, Canada's foremost expert on the four-down game, Jim Lang. And, Jim, there was one upset out of 6 games last weekend. You called it. San Francisco 49ers winning at Dallas in a game, 23-17, a game that flattered the Cowboys' score. You really knew that was going to happen, didn't you?
Well, I did because of Deebo Samuel. I did because of the defense. Now, I didn't think losing Nick Bosa was going to happen in the game. That's the biggest thing for the 49ers going into this weekend's matchup against Green Bay is Nick Bosa. He did not practice yesterday. He's not cleared concussion protocol. It was a pretty scary head injury that he suffered, and he is a special defensive player. But the way Kyle Shanahan has the 49ers playing, the way Deebo Samuel is utilized as a receiver and a running back and a quarterback at times, I knew that was going to give the Cowboys headaches. What I did not expect is how seemingly unprepared Mike McCarthy seemed in crunch time in the game and the lack of knowledge of the team and the Cowboys and the offense about a basic rule in football that an official, the umpire, has to touch the ball before it's snapped. And I know it's been broken down like the Zapruder film, but if Dak Prescott stops 5 yards short of where he's running, he still has plenty of field and lots of room to work for a Hail Mary for a last play because he's got the arm to do it. And he stops, looks to the official, hands the official the ball. They down it, they clock it. They have at least 1, probably 2 seconds left of the clock. I mean, there is no question. I mean, Tony Romo called it right away. Says the game's over. They were trying to snap the ball before, and the official's trying to scramble to touch it. I mean, how does that happen? Of all the ways for the Cowboys to lose that game, I can't believe that was the way it happened for them. I really can't, Rod.
I can, as a Cowboys fan, and just the way things have happened. No, I can't pin it all on Mike McCarthy. Let me just say this. Jesse Palmer's called for the removal of Mike McCarthy. Thinks it should happen and will. Nick Lewis on this show yesterday, and he's a Cowboys fan, said the same thing. I didn't want him hired in the first place. Do you think he's on the sidelines for Dallas next year?
Jerry Jones' ego is that he's going to put another year. I don't think Jerry likes to admit he's made a mistake. Jerry doesn't like to admit that he made a wrong call about something, and he's stubborn to a fault. And all points right now, as far as I'm concerned, is Mike McCarthy's back. Unless something really crazy happens in the next few weeks, McCarthy will be back with the Dallas Cowboys because, Jerry thinks, hey, this is the team and blah, blah, blah. And, he's always, the Cowboys. Look, they have got some great young pieces on that football team, without question. There is some great talent there. They should have. I called the 49ers to win the game because of the way they were playing and the physicality of the team. Now, to me, if Dallas had played another team in the postseason, if they gotten the Eagles, they would have won it easy. The Eagles were just not prepared for the postseason this year. But, you can't pick and choose your opponent in the postseason. So sometimes you face a team like the 49ers in the playoffs. And Shanahan had the better game plan, and the team was better prepared to play and win in that matchup.
Yeah, comes down to coaching. I don't think Jerry's afraid to burn money at all, but he's afraid to admit that he made a mistake. Good call on that, Jim. Yeah. The LA Rams, they looked as good as they could be, I think, Monday night. Or is it because they were playing an Arizona team that wasn't as good as we thought? The Rams, to me, looked like they could be NFC champions.
Well, this is the Rams team that was envisioned at the beginning of the season, Rod. And what we saw Monday in their win against Arizona was Von Miller, vintage Von Miller, when he was at his peak in Denver. He has 6 sacks in his last 5 games. He's been an absolute terror in the backfield. It wasn't just the sacks. It was the tackles for losses. It was disrupting plays. And now when Tampa starts looking at the game film, they have to game plan for Von Miller. And Tristan Wirfs, their big offensive tackle, is really hobbled with a bad ankle, is probably doubtful if he plays. He's going to be playing well short of 100%. And trying to keep Von Miller out of the face of Tom Brady in that game is going to be a real challenge because offensively, I don't think anyone had any worries about the Rams' ability to score points, not with Cooper Kupp, not with Stafford, not with Cam Akers healthy, not with Odell Beckham Jr., but it's the defense. And now Aaron Donald's got this compliment in Von Miller. You can't double Aaron Donald all day and put a offensive lineman on the island on the outside with Von Miller. He's going to eat you up. So how they handle Von Miller is going to be very, very interesting from a strategic standpoint for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their offense, especially they're a bit banged up on the offensive line and trying to keep Tom Brady protected. But I couldn't agree more. Yes, Arizona went into a bit of a tailspin at the end of the year, but the LA Rams defense suffocated the Cardinals offense from the first series and did not allow them a single thing. They were aggressive, pressure, didn't allow anything. They didn't give them a glimpse, a hope of any semblance that they were going to get any offense going and getting any confidence in the game. They took their will to win and demolished it early in that game. And by the time Kyler Murray threw that desperation, I don't know what he was thinking to save the safety 3-yard pick six, the game was over.
Bucks favored by 3. And by the way, to our viewers, betregal.ca has introduced the RP Show promo code. Drop the promo code RP22, get $22 free to play with this weekend on NFL divisional playoff games at betregal.ca. Promo code is RP22. Sign up today. I got so many things to get to with you, Jim. The Bills at the Chiefs. Is there any chance of an upset? This Bills Mafia has got me thinking that it could happen. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's an upset if the Bills win. I mean, to me, this is the closest game of the weekend of the 4 matchups. The Bills have built for this for a number of years, and everything they've done has been built to this point. And for Josh Allen to have the game he did in that, unbelievably cold conditions in Buffalo, 5 touchdowns, and just demolishing Bill Belichick and a Patriots team that has had the Bills number for 20 years. To do that is a huge step for the Bills organization. So they go into Kansas City and knowing they've got a great quarterback, a great defense, they've got decent special teams. They match up well against Kansas City. I think Micah Hyde and Tremaine Edmonds will do well against Travis Kelce. But you've got 2 quarterbacks coming off 5 touchdown games. You can't ask for more than that for a football fan. A repeat of last year's AFC Championship game. And to me, if the Bills win, it's not an upset. It's going to be a very, very close game. Now, Kansas City has everything in place to win the game, but this is going to come down to a few snaps of the ball either way because they're so evenly matched and both quarterbacks are playing so well over the last couple of weeks.
Chiefs favored by 2. Titans favored by 3.5 at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. You seem like a real believer in the Titans. Do you think they could go all the way?
They certainly could. And actually, just before I came on, Derrick Henry spoke to the media in Tennessee for the first time since the end of October. He had a full contact practice yesterday. He came away feeling good. So everything's pointing to him being in the lineup, starting. And they're not even talking about limiting his snaps as a running back in the backfield for the Titans. So if you're a Titans fan and you went 6-2, I believe, without Derrick Henry in the lineup, and you're about to get Derrick Henry, who basically almost won the NFL rushing title in half a season, back in the lineup against a Cincinnati team that was only so-so against the run. That's really good. Now, here's where things get really interesting. I think Kevin Byard and Harold Landry on the defense of the Titans, my goodness, Joe Burrow is fairly inflappable, and his connection with Jamar Chase is special. So I'm really big on Tennessee. I think it's fantastic that they're getting Derrick Henry back and they're at home, but Cincinnati is going to make this more of a game that I think some people feel. It wasn't a fluke that they won against the Raiders last week. This is a team on the rise, and even if Cincinnati loses this game, they go into the offseason knowing, let's just load up on the offensive line and some complementary positions and key positions on defense. But the core of the offense, the core of the team, it is in place there. I mean, Cincinnati is poised to be a very good and dangerous playoff team in the AFC for years to come with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So again, this is not a slam dunk, but for Tennessee by any means. And I'm sure that Mike Vrabel is pounding it into the heads of his players all week that look at the game flow of look what Burrow and Chase have done the last few weeks in the NFL. We can't just roll our helmets out there and expect we're going to win because we're the number 1 seed, not by a long shot. So I'm fascinated to see how often they use Derrick Henry earlier in the game, how effective he is. If he starts ripping off 5, 6, 7-yard runs early, I think Cincinnati's going to go, it's going to be a long day, because if he's in that kind of run where he's running strong, running physical, giving stiff arms, getting yards after contact, the old Derrick Henry's back, and that's going to be big for the Titans all the way through the AFC.
I got to sprinkle in a couple viewer comments. Jennifer says, I'm hoping for the matchup Rams-Packers. Rodgers owns Stafford. Boy, Aaron's pretty rich. He owns the Bears. Owns Matt Stafford, but that's the Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. Ryan McCarthy, we have 2 minutes. I got 2 questions for you. Ryan in New York says, a question for Jim. Are other teams starting to figure out Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury?
Well, yeah, and they lost DeAndre Hopkins too, so they're figuring him out, and they lost their best offensive receiving weapon, and it changed their offense when Hopkins got injured. And, this is to go in such a tailspin down the stretch. That's going to be tough in the offseason for the Cardinals. They're going to have to look at some things and what went wrong and what they have to change, because they didn't just lose that game. They weren't even in the game. It wasn't even close. After the first quarter, the game was over. You could have just hit the LA freeway and gone home. You didn't need to stay to the end. So that's my concern for the Arizona Cardinals. So I really like is they had that great stretch through late September into early November. And then when the weather got colder, they just disappeared. So that's something they have to address. I still think there's a lot of good pieces to the Arizona Cardinals, and I like Kyler Murray, but they have to really do some evaluation of that football team and see what pieces they need to add in the offseason, because they just can't allow a team with that much talent to have that kind of last 3-4 weeks of the season and go down the toilet the way they did.
Real fast, Kevin Stefanski is logged in and says, hello, chat. Hello, Kevin. Glad to have you with us. As a Raiders fan, Jim, this is my last one. Monday, they fired the GM, Mike Mayock. What was your initial reaction as a Raiders fan?
A little surprised. I'm not sure what the direction is there. I think Rich Bisaccia earned a lot of brownie points within the Raiders locker room, and a lot of respect from the players for the way the team was held together through everything that happened in Las Vegas this year and all the off-field incidents and drama, and got them into the playoffs. And there's Max Crosby, got this talent, you got Darren Waller. There's a lot of good pieces in place with the Raiders. So if I'm Bisaccia, you're an interim coach. Mark Davis is going to hire a GM. Well, the GM's going to go, I want to hire my coach. So it could be a really different front office coaching staff and maybe a new quarterback with the Raiders for next season, depending on what happens over the next month.
Jim, wonderful visit. Enjoy the games. For Jim's latest NFL column, go to rodpedersen.com. And yes, bud, enjoy it. Thanks for the time today, as always.
Loving it.
Yeah, you bet. Jim Clubber Lang, joining us from the T-Dot. When we come back, Sports Update, the Moose will join us for overtime. Some interesting things have gone on in Canadian sport this morning. We'll tell you all about it when we come back to Grey Eagle Resort and Casino right after this on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Gotta slam. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games.
Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Episode number 677 comes to you live from Calgary. Not the Saddle Dome, but that's where we were last night. We're at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. The Moose is with me. We've got some news this morning on this Wednesday, and we'll spend a minute on that. Head coach Ryan Dinwiddie will have plenty of new faces on his 2022 Argos staff. It was announced this morning only linebackers coach Kevin Ivan and DB's coach Josh Bell return. The newcomers include Mike Miller, who'll coach quarterbacks. Chris Sweet will coach the O-line. Pete Costanza will coach receivers and be the passing game coordinator. Edwin Harrison, the running back quality control coach. William Field, secondary coach. Mickey Donovan, special teams coordinator. Earlier this month, the Argos had announced the hiring of Corey Mace as their defensive coordinator. And the Saskatchewan Rattlers of the Canadian Elite Basketball League have hired veteran NBA assistant Dean Demopoulos as their head coach for the upcoming CEBL season. Team president Brad Kraft said in a statement, the Rattlers are working their way back to our 2019 championship year. He is a Philadelphia product and originally debuted in the NBA in 2001. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca and for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars. Welcome back, Moose. It's been a fun show today. We got a lot of hockey people and football people who are going to roll up to the Grey Eagle Casino over the next couple of days and hang out. It's been a lot of fun here.
Yeah.
And it continues to be a lot of fun.
It's been awesome.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
They have.
Yeah, they really have. The red carpet's been rolled out, and it's fun. And I mean, it feels like we've been here for a long time. We're just getting started.
I just noticed the guest list for tomorrow. Brendan Parker. I was like, I misread it. I thought it was somebody else. Flames TV host Brendan Parker and Sportsnet's Ryan Leslie will be with us right here at Grey Eagle tomorrow. At least one of them will. The general in Calgary says, go Flames, go. Let's get Clark in a Flames jersey. You think that'll ever happen?
Ooh. Wouldn't that be something?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Dan Asham says, do you think the Winnipeg Jets will make the playoffs this year? Yes, I do. Because I had them predicted to be second in the Central. They've made their coaching change. They're getting better. I think the Jets will make the playoffs. Maybe we'll talk a little more Winnipeg Jets in the program tomorrow. So long, Oleg says. Love you all. Thank you, Oleg. John Ohm watching in Winnipeg. He says, I want a Calgary Flames jersey. It's still in the closet. Well, he's in Winnipeg. I get it.
I get that.
Why you would say, can't exchange it for something. But you just wait. There's maybe tomorrow's show, I will be sporting a Calgary Stampeders thermal mug here on the set. Because here at Grey Eagle this morning, I went down to the gift shop and I said, do you have any thermoses or mugs? Sold out. SRO, sold right out.
Hot ticket item.
Popular place. And the other thing, all the security have been very accommodating from the opening night when I got here on Saturday. I didn't have my QR code ready to go, but I had the printed vaccination certificate and I showed it at the door. They all put their heads together in a huddle, the security guys, and the oldest guy of them all says he's from Saskatchewan. Let him in. That's how it started. But this morning, Lucien, he had never seen me before. He's like, you can't take that bag in there. You can't take that coffee in there. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but I've been here since Saturday, man. Didn't they tell you we're doing a TV show? What TV show? I said, it's a sports talk show. It's on Game Plus TV. What do you talk about? Well, Flames, Stampeder, like everything. Do you talk soccer? No. Well, you should be talking soccer on there. I said, Lucien, if you come on the show, we'll talk soccer. That's the. I'll go introduce you to him after the show because he's still working right now. Last minute of play on the RP show. Toughest part for me today is deciding, are we going to go to the buffet for lunch or supper? I'm leaning towards supper.
Okay.
Or maybe this is a word that I invented a few years ago. Maybe we'll do it for lupper.
Kind of the in-between. Let's do it. I mean, absolutely whatever. I'm up for whatever. But yeah, we could go twice.
Yeah, vote on our poll. Yeah, we should.
We could go twice.
Vote on our poll, everybody. Who do you support in Pissygate? Leon Draisaitl, Jim Matheson, both or neither? And I voted for neither. And man, I can't wait for the Oilers and Panthers, but that's not till Thursday night. A lot it's going to go down between now and then. Yeah. Thanks to Jermain Franklin. Thanks to Jim Lang. Thanks to all of you for tuning us in. Support our sponsors, please. Including ToughTimeForMen.com, including Bronco Plumbing and Heating, including the Grey Eagle, all of them. And we'll see you tomorrow here at noon Eastern on Game Plus TV. Let's make some noise!
How about that? Oh, good one, Rod. Hot take. Oh, no. Spicy. Bob's your uncle. Approved. LFG. Bingo.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.